Hi there guys, it's a very damp and humid day as you can see. I've worked up quite a sweat even getting to this point here, and I'm not even that far into the woods. But we're coming to the end of May and a lot of the spring edibles are reaching maturity, and some of them already have and are dying off. But a lot of the summer crop are coming through to join them. In our last video we had a look at Polyporus squamosus, and that's a type of edible fungus commonly known as dryad saddle that primarily grows on deciduous hardwoods, and it's particularly nice if picked young. But today we're going to have a look at another edible, and it's an edible kind of root really that we're going to be looking at. And we're going to get down to this water source here where the ground is very soft, and that'll make it a lot easier to dig up. So the plant I've got in my hand here, or part of it, as a key part is missing, as we'll talk about later. And it's growing all around me, and this water source all over the place in this nice damp shady area, which is typical of the environment it would grow in. It's called Conopodium margus, or pignut. And a pignut is a member of the Umbelliferae or Apiaceae family, which is the carrot or parsley family. And that's a particularly dangerous family really, and you want to know it well if you're going to go out and do foraging in that family, because you've got the hemlocks and you've also got fool's parsley, just a few that can really kill you or poison you quite badly depending on how much you ingest, and they all have subtle similarities between each other. But that aside, the pignut is a member of that family, and it's probably the easiest in my opinion to identify, simply because of the leaf, which is like no other in the family. The kind of terrain this plant grows in is going to be in areas where moisture doesn't drain particularly well. I'm on a lot of clay here, and this is a very damp deciduous woodland, and as you can see lots of plants are thriving here. It's very green and it's quite a rich environment, and this plant's doing very well in this shady area, which is what it likes. But you will find it growing in meadows and pastures as well, and breaks in the woodland on grassland, provided the water doesn't drain particularly well on the soil. If we pull the pignut out the ground, you'll see that the root has now been left behind, because as it grows down it can go down up to 8 inches, but in damper soils it tends to be a bit shallower, and this will curve around, and then the tuber, the sort of potato-like root, will be on the end, and that's the bit we really want to eat. But from an ID perspective, it's a very easy plant to identify, and the leaf, as we said earlier, is a dead giveaway, unlike any other member of the Umbelliferae families, and probably closer to yarrow, so it's not really close to anything that you could get wrong and potentially be poisoned by, which is a good thing, obviously, when you're out foraging for edibles. But if we look at the leaf, you'll see it's very fine and feather-like. But if we get to the base, the lower leaves are generally slightly flatter, but only very slightly, and they still retain that sort of feather-like shape. And it's a fantastic way of identifying the plant. It almost looks like a triangle with lots of feathers coming off of it, and you only see a few growing up the main stem, and it's a single-stemmed plant that often branches out as it goes to the top into those umbel flower heads. If you are interested in the flower, I'd bring a magnifying glass with you, because they're absolutely tiny. They are white, and they have 5 white petals with a sort of green blob in the centre that will eventually become the fruit, and they have 5 white stamens, so that can always be a way of identifying them if you do bring a magnifying glass. But the leaf is a brilliant way of picking them out. We don't need anything too substantial to get to the root of the plant. Just a small trowel or even a digging stick will be absolutely fine. So I've had to quickly put a tarp up because of the rain, but we've got a great pignut here, and you want to clear away just around the base of the stem of the plant, being very careful not to hit it or knock it or pull on it, or else it will detach from the root almost immediately. But we can put our shovel in, or digging stick, and just go in and lift it up. And the whole plant should come out. Now you want to be very careful, because I can already see there that we've got a bluebell bulb. And bluebell bulbs are very poisonous, so you want to be sure that it does not look like that. That is a bluebell bulb, and you do not want to be eating those if you're out in the woods. So we'll toss that to one side and keep looking for the pignut. As we can see, it might be in this bit just here. We've got the stem that's still going in. We'll clear this away. You can see I've found the pignut, it's just there, and it just detached from the stem as I was sort of thumbing around with it, but You can see there, that's what the pignut looks like. It's got a sort of woody skin on it, and if you break that skin away, it should be white, a lot like a hazelnut. So we can see the difference just here. This is the poisonous bluebell bulb, and this is the pignut. So this doesn't have a skin, and you can see these sort of smaller roots at the bottom, and it's a teardrop shape. And the pignut is often sort of like a nuggety kind of shape, a bit like a hazelnut, and sometimes it's slightly imperfect and really bobbly. And it has a skin on it, a very thick brown skin, which is easy to miss when you're digging around in the earth. But you can clear that away and wash it and eat it straight out the ground. And we'll dig a few more up. So I was searching around for some time for that one. You can see they're very easy to miss because they get covered in so much mud, and then sometimes you strike away the skin and you spot it standing out. That one's a particularly good one. The skin's very, very easy to take off. You can see it just peels off. Sometimes you can just squeeze them with your fingers and it'll pop out. But it's easy just to use your fingernail to sort of get most of it off. Obviously it's a bit of a wet, muddy day, so I'm going to need to wash these in the river before I eat them. So we've got a good batch of pignuts here, some varied ones, some quite big and some quite small, and there are a variation in species as well, so sometimes they can be very, very big, almost the size of golf balls in some case, and it's a real find when you get something like that, because there's a few of those and you can keep them in your pocket and they'll keep you going for quite some time. But let's see what they taste like. Much like a hazelnut. Very tasty though. Really good. Definitely one of my favourites. Pignuts are very starchy and they're a great source of vitamin A, vitamin C, and also plant proteins and fibre as well. But I'd just be mindful about how many you take, but they do grow in very large colonies, and they possess both male and female organs, so they generally are quite a resilient plant, so you can't really like damage the crop if you only take a handful, for example. But I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I appreciate you watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. So thanks again guys, and take care.